Right? That's
people
all
here
the
are
opinions
wearing
out
just
there.
as many
Everybody,
masks.
What?
I said, and just
Right, you
like the
gotta wear
coffee
three
room at
masks now.
Yeshiva, there's just as many people wearing masks.
There you go. There you go. Yep. Somebody young was nifter in town. Is it somebody told me that from Corona? Did anybody hear that? I don't know.
Didn't hear anything.
Okay. I hope it's not true, but I heard. All right, ready to roll?
Yeah.
Okay, so this first, of course, as usual on a Friday, the major sugyas end up being on Fridays, right? But
Where are we up to now?
we're up to Daf Samach Tes Amud Aleph, about 10 lines up, Amar Rava.
Okay.
As we said yesterday, that according to Rebbe eliezer,
I'm sorry. Where did you say? I'm sorry. Where did you say we are?
Samach Tes Amud Aleph, around 10 lines up. Right? So we had asked that according to Rebbe eliezer, let him bring the mechatos. Right? We're talking about somebody who's tamei on the seventh day. His seventh day, or he's a tamei sheret, so it's one day, and that tumah is on erev pesach. Right? So we're talking about that. Rebbe eliezer says that it's a machlokes whether you're allowed to sprinkle the mechatos on the guy so that it'll become tahar, even though it's Shabbos, which is an isser derabanan to sprinkle it on him on Shabbos. Is a person mechuyev to do that, or you can say, no, listen, hey, I'm tamei, I'm potter, right? I'll wait to Pesach Sheni, or is he mechuyev to do that, or right? So we had said that Rebbe eliezer says machshirei mitzvah. We want to ask the question that Rebbe eliezer, who holds machshirei mitzvahs doiche Shabbos, so sprinkling is a machshirei mitzvah. So the Gemara says that that's only where the person himself is chazi, right? He's fitting to do the korban, and he has a chayav. But here, that the person is tamei, he's not in the parsha of doing the korban pesach. So he's not mechuyev to. There's no chayav on him to sprinkle the mechatas, and Mamela he's not allowed to do it on Shabbos.
There's no chayav on the kohen to sprinkle his film.
Yeah, either one, right? So then now we say Amar Rava. Yeah, I think it's about 12 lines up from the bottom. Samach Tes Amud Aleph. Amar Rava. The Dibur Rebbe eliezer katan bari mechamen lechamen lahabroisai ulamayla b'Shabbos. Right, we had this in Shabbos. According to Rebbe eliezer, so even for a katan who's healthy, you're allowed to heat up hot water. To they said back then they washed the kids in hot water before they did the bris, to make him stronger and to give him, in order to enable him to have a bris on Shabbos. The chazile, because right now he's chazi, right? He's a healthy kid. He's chazi to have a bris, so his bris is doiches Shabbos. So then you can do whatever is necessary to bris. But katan chayla, but a katan who's sick, ein mechamen loichamen lavrois elamole the haloi chazile, right? So a katan who's sick, he's not having a bris on Shabbos, so you can't heat up the water for him because he's not in the parsha of having a bris on Shabbos, right? So that's what the Gemara, that's what Rava wants to say. So Amar Rava v'ibarihu lama lechamen lavrois. But if he's healthy, what does he need hot water for? Meaning only if the kid's not healthy, you need hot water to get him healthy. Elo Amar Rava, so Rava disagrees. He says, Akol chaylan hein etzel mila. Everybody's considered a chayla when it comes to mila. Like, and Rashi says, meaning the normal thing to do back then was to give a baby a hot water bath before the bris. Echad katan bari, echad katan chayla. Right? And that's whether it's a chayla or not, whether it's a katan chayla or not. So ein mechamen loichamen lavrois elamole b'Shabbos the haloi chazi. Bottom line is, it's because they're not chazi, right? So therefore, he's saying. So even Rebbe eliezer, who says that machshirei mitzvah are allowed to be done, but the bath, you have to heat up the water before Shabbos because it's efshar to do it before Shabbos, right? So meaning, so everybody's considered a chayla. So, right? It's meaning, well, his point is, since everybody's considered a chayla, so therefore, you're not allowed to heat up the water because it's really not right for that, right? So therefore, you gotta heat up the water before Shabbos. Fine. Now we go back to this klal that Rebbe eliezer was saying, that if the person is not roy, he's not mechuyev to to do the hazah the mechatas. Esay abaya oral shaloi mal, an oral who doesn't have a mila onish chorus. He's going to be chayav chorus if he does not bring the korban pesach, right? That's a pretty wild shita. Yeah, we're saying. He is chayav chorus. That's the truth. The question is why he's an oral, right? If he has a good excuse, right, then it's not. Then why should he be chayav chorus? So I'm not sure. I must mean that this guy is not. He's just. I don't know why he doesn't have a bris, but that's what it must be. So that's what it is. That he himself is not chazi, right? Because he doesn't have a bris. Vikatani onish chorus. Amar rami chayav. So we say that there's a chayav chorus, so you see that there is a chayav on him. Meaning, we're trying to say, does a person who on erev pesach after chatzos, he's not roy or he is roy, right? That's the shaila. If he's not roy, so then we just got finished saying you're not roy. He's tamei. He's not mechuyev to go be machal Shabbos in order to get himself to be kosher, right? So then, if that's the case, so then an oral can give himself a bris, right? And must be that he has that option. That's why he's chayav kares. Because if he didn't have to give himself a bris, then why would he be chayav kares? Meaning, you can only be chayav kares if you have the wherewithal to take care of it. If you don't have the wherewithal to take care of it, then not, right? Meaning the chayav is not chal. Rashi says before chatzos. It's only by chatzos that it's going to apply. So that's a bias kasha. So Amar Rava, Kasav eliezer ain't schechted b'zarkin al tamei sheretz. You don't do shchita or zrika for somebody who's tamei sheretz. Yeah.
I think we had before once that you can measure shows by mitzvah boy. You chayav to measure shows and not shows. If he was born the first night, 8 o'clock by it says, or he's born the second night, 6 o'clock by the shechted. It's 20-hour difference, 23-hour difference, whatever it is. So if this fellow, this 13-year-old boy, he was born mamish by shechted, so by chatzos, so he's not chayav in korban. Is he chayav in korban pesach already or not? Is he chayav in bris milah or not?
I don't know. We paskin lemaisa that it's mixed with yom kikulim.
But right. we had a sheet.
Yeah, like there was some right. Yeah, there was something about that.
Okay.
Right.
What about other mitzvahs? If he's able to be mild, what about being mild? I'm saying yesterday, so he could be doing other mitzvahs.
You mean why wasn't he mild? I don't know. Yeah, I don't have clarity on that. I don't know why wasn't he mild himself yesterday or in the morning? In the morning.
I'm saying, is there a difference if he wants to put on tefillin, if he wants to put on any other mitzvahs? Does it make a difference if he's mild or not?
No, that doesn't make a difference.
Only by the korban pesach.
Only korban pesach. That's it. Only korban pesach. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so Amar Rava, Kasav eliezer ain't schechted b'zarkin al tamei sheretz. We don't shecht and do zrika on behalf of somebody who's a tamei sheretz, because he pushes it off to Pesach Sheni, right? V'chol she'ilu b'yachid nidcha, right? But tzibur avdi b'tuma. And if the rule is, this is the rule basically what eliezer is saying, right? That if it was a yachid, he would be pushed off to Pesach Sheni, but tzibur avdi b'tuma, then the whole tzibur does a b'tuma. Right? V'chol milsa da isa b'tzibur, isa b'yachid. V'chol milsa da isa b'tzibur, isa b'yachid. And anything that the tzibur would have to do, right? Isa b'yachid. So the yachid would also have to do. V'chol milsa da lesa b'tzibur, lesa b'yachid. And anything that the tzibur would not do, the yachid doesn't have to do either. Right? So Rashi says the pshat is because it's a tzibur. The chayav korban pesach is on the tzibur. It's not on the yachid. It's on the yachid as part of the tzibur. So he doesn't have to go more. He doesn't have to go any further than the tzibur. So now the Gemara explains it. Arelus, 4 lines on Arelus, the equal tzibur arelim ninu. So by Arelus, if the whole Klal Yisrael for whatever reason didn't have a bris, amrinan lahu kumu mahulu nafshaychu. Get up and give yourself a bris, vavidi pischa, and do the pesach. So yachanami amrinan lekum mal. You also get up and do the korban pesach, do the mila, and if
the
not,
first pesach.
What? Yeah,
the first pesach.
Yeah, right. That's true. V'loy mal va'avid anish kares, and if you're not mal and you do the korban pesach, then you're going to get punished. Chametz for anash chorus. I'm sorry for chametz for chorus, right? Tuma the equally tzibur tameinu, but tuma if the whole tzibur is tamei loy madina nalayu. We don't put madina means we don't sprinkle. We don't put the mechatas on them, right? If Gans Klal Yisrael is tamei or roiv of Klal Yisrael is tamei, you just bring the korban pesach. You don't sprinkle on them. Ela abdi betuma, so you do betuma. The yachid nami potter, so then the yachid's also potter. Here what he's saying is basically saying that the yachid follows whatever rules the tzibur has. If the whole tzibur was aral, we would tell them that they have to give themselves a bris before Pesach. So the yachid also has to give himself a bris, and if he brings the korban Pesach anyways, he's going to be chayav koros. But for tuma, we're not mechayav a guy to go sprinkle blood on himself on erev Pesach, because if the tzibur needed it, they wouldn't be mechayav to do it, so he doesn't have to do it either. Yeah, so Amali Ravuna Breder Rav Yeshua Rava. So it's interesting. So Rashi says, and it becomes a whole tumult. What happens if the whole tzibur is tame zov? Let's say, then we don't. Then the tzibur is not doicha. Okay, it's a whole sugya. Then the tzibur really is not doicha. But okay, let's just see about this. So Amali Ravuna Breder Rav Yeshua Rava. Varei Pesach Sheni Delesa b'tzibur bisa b'yachid. What about Pesach Sheni? Pesach Sheni, the tzibur never has to bring Pesach Sheni, right? It's not possible. Well, that's part of the kasha we just said, but let's go with the basic kasha. Pesach Sheni is not meant for the tzibur. If the whole tzibur is tamei, then they have to, then they bring in Pesach Rishon, right? So there's no Pesach Sheni for the tzibur, right? But a yachid does have Pesach Sheni. So you see there is something that a yachid will be mechuyev to do, and a tzibur won't be mechuyev to do. So no. There, the tzibur is doing it berishon, so therefore, this is considered like Pesach Sheni is considered like an extension of the tzibur. But there's no situation where the tzibur is not bringing a korban and the yachid is. The tzibur is bringing it. It's the equivalent of Pesach Sheni. It's just they're bringing it on Pesach Rishon. Right? So meisvei yachal lo yeyash koros. So you would think that he shouldn't get koros if he didn't bring the korban Pesach, tar, only somebody who's tar, and he wasn't far away, meaning a guy was tar, or he was sitting in Yerushalayim, and he decided he's just not bringing the korban Pesach. So maybe that's the guy that's chayav koros. Oral v'tomei sheret v'sharkal tmei minayin. Had about an oral and somebody oral doesn't have a bris, but tomei sheret, somebody becomes tomei sheret, v'sharkal tmeim, and anybody else is tomei, right? Minayin, how do you know that they're going to be chayav koros? So Tamil Loimar v'ha'ish, so it tells you v'ha'ish, right? That's an extra word v'ha'ish, that any ish is going to be chayav if they don't bring a korban pesach. So the meet the kamahadar at tomei sheretz, this that you're going for tomei sheretz, kasavar ain't shechted v'zarkan al tomei sheretz. So obviously we're holding that we don't shecht and do zrika for somebody who's tomei sheretz, even though Tamei Sheretz. If he's Tamei Sheretz on erev Pesach, he's going to become tar Pesach by night, right? So why don't we shecht on his behalf, and then he'll eat it Pesach by night? These shechtim v'zarkan al Tamei Sheretz. If we would do shchita and zrika on behalf of somebody who's Tamei Sheretz, lama leila duri, right? Why would have to go and to try and include him? Hainu tar, right? That's like somebody who's tar, because you can bring it on his behalf, and then he'll eat it at night. Alma afagav deloy chazi. So we see that even though he's not chazi, chayuv alei, there is a chiyuv on him to get that korban done. Va'afagav delesa b'tzibur isa b'yachid. Even though it's not a tzibur chiyuv, right? Because if the whole tzibur was tamei sheretz, they wouldn't need to get themselves tar isa b'yachid, but it is b'yachid. Meaning, so then if that's the case, so basically the kasha comes back is why does Rabbi Eliezer say that you're not supposed to do hazah on Shabbos? It's something that a person is mechuyev to get himself tahar, right? Just like here, this bris is saying that the Tomei Sheretz is mechuyev to get himself a korban Pesach. Somebody should shecht it on his behalf, erev Pesach, and he'll get it at night. So Elam Rava, because Rabbi Eliezer shaychtim izarkan al Tomei Sheretz. Rabbi Eliezer holds you do shchita and zrika on Tomei Sheretz. V'huadin l'Tomei Meis b'shvi shel hazah. Right, and you do it. He says, Taka Rebbe Eliezer does hold. You would sprinkle the mechatas on the fellow, right? But lamai, then for what? What's it for? It's the lachila in order to eat it, right? Achilas pesachim loy ma'akfa, but achila eating the pesach is not ma'akiv. Right. So again, Rabbi Eliezer holds a chayav zagan tamei sheretz. You do, you would do the schechted and the zrika for somebody who's tamei sheretz, and for somebody that's also tamei on the seventh day. Right? They can, they can still bring the korban pesach, not themselves. It's somebody who bring it for them. Right? But then Hazal Lamais, and the Gemara says, so why are you sprinkling it for? Why are you sprinkling? Achila. For Achila, and Achilas Pesachim is like Ma'akiv, which is interesting. That means it's not Ma'akiv. He's gonna be Yaitza. According to this, he's going to be Yaitza, his mitzvah of bringing korban pesach, even though even without the sprinkling. Meaning he's not gonna do the Hazah because Hazah is only for Achila. You don't, meaning you're Yaitza your korban pesach without sprinkling the blood on the mizbeach. You're Yaitza. That's what he's saying. The only reason why you need the hazah is in order to be matari achila of the pesach. And he's saying achila is not ma'akiv. The achila is not ma'akiv. Right?
By hazah, you mean the sprinkling of the water, not the dam.
No.
Hazah is dam now?
Yeah, isn't it? Isn't
hazah?
hazah?
The water of the tamei mace. The paraduma water.
I made me think I'm mixing it up again. But I understand what does it have to do with achila? Hazah you need for anything.
He's going to be tamei.
What do you mean?
If he can bring it.
But then if he does the hazah, why can't he eat the korban pesach?
That's all it's for. It's like,
what do you mean? But he's saying lamai, it's for achila, and achila is not ma'akiv.
So therefore, you don't do the hazah.
What do you mean? But he needs the hazah to become tar anyway.
You can bring it for him. You can be makriv it for him. Same as you can be makriv.
You're right. You're right. 100% right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes, the hazah. We're not going to do the hazah on him because he doesn't have to eat it. That's all. He doesn't have to eat it. Right? Not the zrika. The zrika you need. The zrika you need. Not the hazah. Fine, thank you. So if that's the case, so then the korban pesach is schechted not for somebody who's eating it, right? We had that 10 blot ago, that schechting a korban pesach for people that can't eat it, right? So what does it mean shalai la'ichlav? L'chayla l'zaken d'loi chazi. That's when you're schechting a korban pesach for a chayla l'zaken who can't even eat it at all. Aval hai michsa chazi. This guy is right for it, but but he's just not fixed. So Mamela, that's not called Shalai La'ichlav. Which I don't understand the question at all, because why Shalai
La'ichlav? You could make a chabura of people who are tamei mace.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Nobody's
the Yom Zion. The Yom Zion.
Throw the carbon into the garbage. What?
Yeah, that's what it seems. Yes. Yeah, it's a chiddush. I don't understand what the Gemara's kasha is. Maybe we said la'ichlav and shalai la'ichlav on a combination of a korban works, right? So why couldn't say that, right?
The Gemara has to be talking about where it was only for him.
I guess it's a private korban.
There has to be anyway. Otherwise, there's no kasha from the beginning. It's always shalai la'ichlav and shalai la'ichlav. Let them shach for him. Who cares?
But for Tameim, you can include Tameim in there.
Why not?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't think you could. Taisus has a different kasha. Taisus says, okay, so why can't you include an oral? Taisus has a different kasha. Why can't you include an oral? All right, an oral's can eat it, but he's just not chazi. So Taisus said, no, an oral is different because an oral actually needs a bris. There he needs a mamish something in his body. Okay, let's just finish up to the Mishna. Klal Amar Rebbe Akiva. So right, so Rebbe Akiva said, so fine. Right, so again, Rebbe Akiva and Rebbe Eliezer are having this machlokes over whether machshirei mitzvah are doicha or not. So Amar Rebbe Yehuda Amar Rav, halacha Rebbe Akiva, halacha is like Rebbe Akiva that we do not allow any of those things. But Tanan Nami gabi mila ki hagavrin by mila, right? In Rebbe Eliezer the mila, we also don't pass like Rebbe Eliezer. Klal Amar Rebbe Akiva. Klal, Miriam, can you shut the door, please? Klal Amar Rebbe Akiva. Kol malacha she'efshal l'asas me'erev Shabbos and edachas Shabbos. Right? Any malacha that you're able to do on erev Shabbos is not doicha Shabbos. Mila she'iyah shalasois erev Shabbos doicha Shabbos. Mila that's not possible. That's not right. Mila that's not possible.
The idea is to make it
Mute yourself.
possible.
Can you
So at
mute
least,
yourself? I can't hear a word.
we're almost finished. So 1 second. Just
Mute yourself.
Where's Parrots when we need him? TY, we.
No, Yakov's muted. Yakov, you're muted. You're muted.
I got
man,
muted.
I'm sorry.
You got muted.
Sorry,
Wrong
you got
person.
muted.
I
Parrots, you
threw him
drinking?
into the
Parrots,
waiting room.
Parrots, you drinking already?
I threw him into the waiting room.
Okay. Anyways, Klal Amar Rebbe Akiva. Kol malach she'efshar la'asayis from erev Shabbos, ain't doicha Shabbos. Any malach you can do from erev Shabbos is not doicha Shabbos. Mila she'iyah efshar la'asayis from erev Shabbos. Mila that's not possible to do on erev Shabbos. Doicha Shabbos, right? Because obviously you can't do the Mila on day 7. You got to do it on day 8. Amar Rebbe Yehuda Marav halacha Rebbe Akiva, and Rebbe Yehuda says that the halacha is like Rebbe Akiva by Mila too. So we have the halacha is like Rebbe Akiva by Mila and Pesach. For tzrichin you need both cases. If you would just tell Allah like Rabbi Akiva Pesach, Hasam mitzvah loydach Shabbos. There, you would say that machshirei mitzvah is not doicha Shabbos. Mishum delay nichrusu aleh shalish esrei brises. Remember this from Shabbos way back. Right, there were the 13 brises. Can you shut the door, please? Simple. The 13 brises were not. They didn't have shleish esrei brises. Aval mila the nichrusu aleh shleish esrei brises, but mila that has the 13 brises, whatever those are, ema lidchi. So we say that it should be daicha. V'yesh minan mila. So you'd say it should be daicha. So kamash malan that Allah is like Rebbe Akiva. That's not daicha. V'yesh minan mila. And if you would say mila hasam hu the machshirei mitzvah leidachu Shabbos the leka karas. There you would say machshirei mitzvah is not daicha Shabbos because there's no karas there. Our Pesach, the Ika Karis, but Pesach, if you don't do korban Pesach, so there's Karis, Emal Lidchi, so you would say maybe you should be Daicha Shabbos, even the Machshirei Mitzvah. So Tzricha, therefore, we paskin like Rebbe Akiva in all situations, and Machshirei Mitzvah are never Daicha. Only mitzvahs that are required that they couldn't be done before are allowed to be done on Shabbos. Okay. Fine. Have a good Shabbos. What time? What's
Chayav, have a good Shabbos.
What is it? 8 o'clock?
8:15 or 8 o'clock?
What time are we doing, Mr. Oh,
we could do 8 o'clock because Elioikovic, it's too early. It's too early for him anyway, so we can go back to 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Fine.
8 o'clock.
Okay.
All right, 8 o'clock.
8
o'clock it is.
Okay. Good
Okay.
Shabbos.
And we'll see you at 3:45 tomorrow. Same
Yeah.
safer, right? We're not learning something different.
Nope. Same safer.
Jesse,
Cool.
don't
See you
threaten
then, Shabbos.
people. Just be Jesse, don't threaten people just
Yeah.
before Shabbos.
Yeah.
Travis.
All right. Have a good Shabbos.
Have a good Shabbos.
Shkoyach Gershon for catching me on my mistake again. I don't know why I always get confused with these two things.
They're very similar things. I mean, not Matthias, but
No, but
sprinkling is
sometimes the
sprinkling.
lumdus.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all right.
Rebbe,
Fine.
I was thinking maybe I'll sit on the roof to listen to Shir.
Well, like Hillel?
Yeah, I'm afraid to go in still. When was the last time anyone had COVID, or is it safe to come back in the water?
Well, I don't know. My whole family had except for one kid. My mother has the shot. I think everybody that's been by my mother's house either had COVID or had the shots.
Got it. Okay.
So
I got
that's
my shot. I got my shot last week, so I'm on the 18th. I have my second shot scheduled.
I hear. Okay.
Okay. Have a good Shabbos, Rebbe.
All right. Good Shabbos.
Have a good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.